welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television. A reminder of our top stories. 14 persons confirmed dead and over 200 others hospitalized following outbreak of cholera in an IDP camp in Borno State. National Association of Resident Doctors takes Nigerians by surprise, orders its members to embark on strike even after talks with the federal government. South Africa says killing of Nigerian businessmen allegedly by the country's police is a grievous crime, promises quid pro, and UN seeks tough approach to North Korea's missile program, says Pyongyang's actions are destabilizing global security. Now, for more on our top stories and others, please visit our website, channelstv.com and youtube.com/channelsweb. Also, please log on to m.channelstv.com to watch us on your mobile device or download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. The Channels TV and Channels 24 apps will give you access to news and updates. You'll also have access to the Eyewitness feature with which you can share those pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. Just install the app, then tap and swipe to reveal the menu, and then follow the instructions. Now, here are some of the pictures you sent to our Eyewitness portal today. We'll begin with these from the Makodi-Lafia Road, showing what our Eyewitness reporter describes as a death trap for commuters. He says the road linking Nasarawa and Benue State is almost divided into two and is appealing to the government agencies involved to act on it, as many lives and property have been lost. Next is this photo of water pipes connected to various homes exposed to a dirty environment around Offa Road in Sokoto. Our Eyewitness reporter is worried about the health implications it poses to residents. We move on to floods with this shot of a submerged area in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, with a heap of refuse at the entrance. Our Eyewitness reporter alleges that it's due to the lack of a good drainage system and wants relevant authorities to do something about it. We end with this video from the Federal Capital Territory showing another flooded area, this time in Angwankwari-Kashi area, allegedly caused by lack of a drainage system. Our Eyewitness reporter says the project was awarded but abandoned, leading to the collapse of houses. We thank you for sending in those pictures, and we ask that you do keep them coming by downloading the Channels TV free app to have access to the Eyewitness feature, so you too can share pictures, videos, or news of happenings around you. A suspected case of Lassa fever has been recorded at the Federal Medical Center in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital. And now the state government is already tracing those who might have had contact with the patient, insisting that the state rapid response team is on track to contain its spread. The head of clinical services at the hospital, Dr. Jones Taiwo, explains that a sample test for Lassa fever was carried out on the patient who came in from Owo in Ondo State, and it proved positive.
In the last 3-4 months, we've actually had 4 cases of suspected Lassa fever attended to at the Federal Medical Center. 3 of them came positive after a confirmatory diagnosis at Ura Specialist Teaching Hospital, 1 negative. Okay, and then out of those 3, we've managed 1 was discharged, was managed, sent to Ura, recover fully, is back in Lokoja, and then other 2 cases died. Okay, and then of course in the last 3 days, I think we had 1. That was the recent case that we had. We're not certain, very certain now of his status, but it was very bad when he was brought here. He was immediately evacuated on clinical suspicion to Ura, but of course feelers from what we've had is probably that the patient demised.
In other matters, President Muhammadu Buhari has assured Nigerians of his continuous commitment to serving the nation. The president said this today in Daura, Katsina State, where he attributed his recovery from ill health to a divine act of God. He told various groups of farmers, businessmen, youth, elders, and politicians who visited him at his country home that he returns to the country with renewed hope and strength to pursue policies that will improve the livelihood of the people and reposition Nigeria for good. He adds in a statement, quote, "Considering the challenges we are facing as a nation, we have been doing our best to provide sustainable solutions, and we will keep doing our best," end of quote. President Buhari solicited the support of the people for better governance. He had earlier received the Emir of Katsina, Alhaji Abdul Mumani Usman, and his entourage, who paid him a Salah homage. The government of South Africa has been reacting to the killing of a Nigerian, Kingsley Ikeri, allegedly by the country's police, describing it as a serious issue. South Africa's Intergovernmental Committee on Migration says in a statement that it has noted that the Nigerian Union in South Africa alleged that the police tortured the Nigerian national to death. In the words of the chairman of the committee and minister in the presidency, Mr. Jeff Radebe, quote, "The allegation of torture and murder by the South African police services is viewed in serious light by the IGC. Our country has institutions such as the Independent Police Investigative Directorate, IPID, that investigates any allegations of crimes committed by the police," unquote. The minister asked the Nigerian Union to report the matter urgently to IPID, insisting that South Africa is a country that cares for all who live in it or those just visiting. The 27-year-old businessman and a native of Imo State was reportedly killed at Vere town in KwaZulu-Natal province last week. Residents of Madagali local government area of Adamawa State are appealing to the federal government to establish a military forward operations base in the area to guard against frequent attacks from Boko Haram insurgents. The state government is, however, assuring them that members of the National Assembly from the state will make the push to ensure the increase of military presence in the local government.
Last month, 7 communities located along the Mandara Hills and the Cameroon border were attacked within a period of 2 weeks. Lives were lost, houses set ablaze, foodstuff and domestic animals carted away by the terrorists.
One of our communities, called Pt.2, has been attacked 7 times, and there is no single house that is still standing, including the hospital. All were destroyed. All these villages that you hear about, there's no other way directly leading to the Sambisa forest except Pt.2.
When the senator representing Northern Adamawa Senatorial District came calling to commiserate with them, the community leaders used the opportunity to the authorities for more security personnel to be deployed.
We need the government to assist us with more men and arms in our domain. That's what we want.
The security resources are at our disposal, both regular and irregular, do not have the capacity to secure everywhere at the same time. So until we begin to show that the government is serious and these people are pursued, hot pursuit, until they are captured.
The Adamawa state government also assures Madagali residents that practical steps are being taken to ensure their safety.
We are taking all necessary measures to ensure that Madagali is secured. We are also in discussion with members of the House of the National Assembly from Adamawa. We're taking the matter very serious. We're going to improve the presence of military forces in Madagali local government. We have increased our support to vigilantes and hunters in Madagali local government.
We've been working to see if the military can create a formation base in Minchika, partly, or Baza, so that the people within that area can now feel the presence of the military more, and will now send a signal to the remnants of the Boko Haram that the government is in full force.
The military authorities have continued to insist that Boko Haram has been largely neutralized, but the insurgents have remained a thorn in the flesh of the locals. Driving out the terrorists may be commendable, but their targets also need to be protected.
Meanwhile, the Nigerian army appears to be recording even more success in its campaign against terrorists in the northeast. It says the troops of Mobile Strike Team 21 on Operation Lafia Dole today successfully ambushed suspected Boko Haram terrorists along the Fergie-Banki Junction Road in Borno State. It explains in a statement that a large number of the Boko Haram terrorists were killed in the action, while others sustained gunshot wounds. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, had recently inaugurated the mobile strike teams to give impetus to the anti-terror war. The teams are said to be highly trained with the mandate of securing the main supply routes of the terrorists in addition to conducting limited clearance operations. Staying with security, the Federal Capital Territory Police Command is assuring residents of Abuja and its environs of effective and adequate security beyond the Salah holidays. Speaking in Abuja after a tour of some recreation parks, the area commander metro of the command, Mr. Ayodele Shonubi, warned miscreants to stay away from the Federal Capital Territory. When the news at 10 returns, Nigeria's manufacturing sector sees the 6th consecutive expansion this year at 57.4 points in August. That will be in the business news. Please join us again.